There's a pattern I keep seeing in kids with autism who make the most progress. And it's not the one parents expect. It's not that their parents did more therapies, more supplements, more appointments. In fact, a lot of these parents did less. What they did differently was how they made decisions. And once you see this pattern, you can't unsee it because it explains why some families feel like they're finally moving forward while others feel stuck despite doing everything right. Stay with me because this is not about blame. It's about clarity. When parents come to see me, they're usually exhausted, they're organized and proactive, and they've read a lot of different papers, they've joined different groups, and they'll say something like, I don't understand. We're doing everything we're supposed to be doing. And they are. But here's what I've noticed. Over the years of watching families closely, the kids who make the most meaningful progress are almost never attached to the most aggressive plans. Instead, their parents tend to do 3 very specific things differently. First, they slow down decisions just enough to understand the why. Not in a way that delays action, but in a way that prevents reactive decisions driven by fear. 2, they stop stacking interventions on top of each other. They don't introduce 5 new things at once and hope something works. They change one variable, then they watch carefully. And third, they measure progress differently. They're not looking for this dramatic overnight transformation. They're watching for improved regulation, attention, engagement, recovery time, small changes that compound. This is the part that's hard to hear because this pattern does not reward urgency. It rewards clarity. Urgency feels responsible. I get it, especially when you're a parent. You're told that time is everything, that if you don't act fast enough, you'll miss a window. So your nervous system stays on high alert. And when you're in that state, decisions do not come from clarity. They come from threat detection. And here's the problem with that. When a parent is in constant urgency, the entire system around the child speeds up. More changes, less observation, less recovery time, and ironically, less usable information. Because if 5 things are changed at once, you can't actually tell what helped and what didn't. I see this over and over and over again. Parents aren't failing because they're not doing enough. They're overwhelmed because they're being asked to make high-stakes decisions in a state of chronic stress. And this part really matters. Kids don't improve in chaotic systems, even well-intentioned ones. Regulation comes before learning. Stability comes before progress. Clarity comes before confidence. When parents slow the decision process, not the commitment, something shifts. The child settles. The data becomes clearer and progress becomes visible. So what does this look like in real life? Not in theory. In a house that's already full, the shift starts with one simple rule. One decision at a time. That doesn't mean fewer tools forever. It means fewer changes at once. Pick one thing you're adjusting. Therapy, schedule, supplement, communication supports. And hold everything else steady long enough to actually learn from it. 3 days, 5 days, a week. The second shift is how you define working. Instead of asking, is this fixing everything? Ask, what small sign is showing improvement? Better sleep, shorter meltdowns, faster recovery, a little more engagement. Those are not minor wins. They're signals. And the third shift is internal. You stop outsourcing confidence. You still listen to professionals, but trust your ability to observe patterns because you're the only one who sees your child across all these different contexts over time. This isn't about doing less because you care less. It's about doing things in a way your nervous system and your child's can actually integrate. I want to say this quietly because it matters. I didn't learn this from a pattern in a textbook. I learned it by watching what actually helped real kids over time and by all the mistakes that I made. And by feeling myself how easy it is to confuse urgency with effectiveness. There were moments when slowing down felt irresponsible. It felt like I was being a bad parent, not going as fast as possible, like I wasn't doing enough. But what I've learned is that clarity creates the momentum, not the other way around. You got to have confidence in what you do. Progress doesn't usually announce itself. It shows up in these small, steady shifts that only become obvious in hindsight. And parents who learn how to notice those shifts, they don't just help their kids. They regain their own sense of agency. And that changes everything.